Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of SolitaryCraft. First and foremost, Happy New Year everybody. I hope you had as great of a New Year's Eve celebration as I did. Not going into details, but I had a great time and I enjoyed the couple of days of not having to keep up with Minecraft stuff, but now I'm ready to get back to it. So I know I said we were going to do the molecular assembler chamber this episode, and I think we still will. The first thing we need to do, though, we need to find a way to hook up the deep storage units to the AE network, and the obvious choice is the storage bus. So we're going to need a storage bus for all of these things. I've already verified that we don't have any of these things in the network right now. And I took the liberty of making a crafting terminal because we're going to have to make some things. You'll notice a couple of new things in the crafting terminal in this version of AE. The search box will now synchronize with NEI. So you've got your auto and standard searches. And I believe the only difference between auto and standard is on auto, when you right click, your cursor automatically shows up in the search box, and on standard, it does not. So that is the only thing that I can tell, but it's pretty awesome. Let's say I need to make some conversion matrix. Well, I have one. It's going to show me everything that starts or has CONV in the name over here on the right. So I can very easily click on it and then hit my shift question mark to put it into the crafting terminal and then make as many as I want. And I'll make about 5 of them. I don't remember the storage bus recipe, but that's what NEI is for. So we're just going to use regular storage buses. I knew I was going to need some interfaces, so that is why I made the conversion matrices. And we'll make 6 of those. And then hopefully we have enough cable left. If not, we'll have to prioritize as far as what we hook up right now. We'll go ahead and make some more cable. I think that'll probably be enough. So if you have cobblestone or something in your system and you hook up a deep storage unit, you can set the priority on these, but a better way to do it is to put an export bus on your deep storage unit to take all the cobblestone out of your ME network before you hook up the storage bus. That way you don't have cobblestone taking up disk space as well as space in your deep storage unit. So I think we're going to put all the deep storage units down here. I wasn't really looking to see where I can bring the cable down. I think I can do it really anywhere. Let's do it right there. And hopefully I have enough room behind this wall. Yeah, I do. Good. What I like to do is put a monitor above each deep storage unit with the item that's in it, so I can tell how many of what I have at a glance. So we'll just start popping them down right here. And I'm going to cover this up just because it's not really necessary, but I would like to do it that way. So we'll just put our deep storage units here. I've never really been clear. When you right click for the priority, I think the higher number takes priority over the lower numbers. I always thought it would be lower, but I've done that and it didn't really work out right. So please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the higher number takes priority, though you can still take whatever item is in it and you can filter it. So let's say that you've got a deep storage unit that's empty, well, you want to get redstone in it. You can filter it so that it doesn't accidentally put cobblestone in there erroneously before you have redstone. So we'll just run this cable down. Let me see. I think that is the floor. Let's just move it over one. We'll do it like that. And we can always cover this with a facade when necessary. So now if we go back up here, now we can see all our redstone. We can see all our cobblestone. And the way that AE works, if there's no priority set, if there is already cobblestone in a deep storage unit and you throw it into your network, it's going to go where the item already is if there's room. So all of those three things we put in there, they all went to the deep storage units. So let's do this. Let's make some molecular assembler chamber stuff. We're going to need the heat vent. And I think we're going to need to make probably a few more cables. We're definitely going to need iron bars. The good thing about searching in here is you can tell if you already have it before you make more of them. That's a problem I always have. I'll go and make stuff, and then I'll look in the system, and then I go, oh, well, I already had that. So I'm going to go ahead and craft the rest of the molecular assembler chamber pieces like this, and I'll be right back. Okay, hopefully my math was correct. If not, we're in for it. It does take some getting used to typing up here to look stuff up in NEI, but once you get used to it, it's pretty awesome. So we'll put our temporary molecular assembler chamber right out here in the open. And I'll just go ahead and kind of treat this like a tutorial. Your outside edges have to be containment walls. And then I guess I'll just build the outside and then we'll put the heat vents in. And I believe these can be any size. 3x3 is the smallest because you must have one pattern provider, but you don't necessarily have to have any crafting CPUs. So your heat vents go in the gaps. Your pattern provider goes directly in the middle. And then that is a completed molecular assembler chamber. You see we have page 1 of 1 because there's one pattern provider in there. If you have 10 pattern providers, then you have 10 pages of recipes. So the CPUs just speed up the crafting. I'll just show you. These look like pretty. These blocks look really cool. I wish they worked better in the world. These just speed up the crafting, but you have to have at least one pattern provider, and then you can figure out how many pages you need and make an appropriate number of CPUs to fill in the space. When we make this bigger, let's say we make a 4x4, everything in the middle has to be either a pattern provider or a CPU. So you're going to need a certain number of them regardless. So now we just connect this thing to the network like so. And now we just need to make a pattern encoder. Another conversion matrix. And I don't I don't have a workbench. I wonder if I even have any yeah, I do. Good. We'll just make a couple of these. No, we want the encoder, not the provider. Okay, and then we're going to need some blank patterns as well. Blank pattern. So we do it just like that. This thing does not have to be connected to the network at all. It doesn't really matter. You put your blank patterns up here, and then whatever you want to make. I don't even know what we need to make right now. How about a storage cell? Just for instance. There's the recipe. Shift left click the arrow. It used to put it in the pattern encoder. Man, I hope he didn't take that away. Alright, so if we look up, what were we making? A storage cell. If we look up a storage cell, we can click the question mark. It'll give us the ghost image. So we put our stuff in here. Then it shows us what we're going to make. We encode it. Now we have a pattern. In the last version I played, you could look up the recipe and shift click the question mark. Oh, now it works. Why does it work now, but it didn't work before? I don't know why that is. Maybe because I have the items in my inventory. I bet that's what it is. Yep. So unfortunately, you have to make the items before you can put them in a pattern now. Last version, you did not have to have them. It would still fill it in. So that's going to be a little tedious. No big deal. Anyhow, we have a pattern now. Put the pattern in the pattern encoder. If you mess up or if you have an extra pattern, shift right click while it's equipped and it will erase it. But we don't want to do that. We put the pattern in our molecular assembler chamber. We come back up here. Now we have a craftable storage cell. If we have all the pieces in the system, you click craft, you pick how many you want, begin, and now we have one in there. I guess we could go ahead and maybe make the crafting monitor so we could see if we're missing any items. I should have just done that right then. Where did it go? Here we go. Of course, missing cable because I don't have any in there. There's the monitor. Every time you add something, the system resets. So if you're crafting something, it'll stop. So let's say we want to make, well, it's kind of a moot point right now because everything we can craft, we have in the system. Let's see how many processors we have. We'll just take all those out. Okay. So if we do a storage cell now, hit begin, we come over here, it tells us what we're missing. If it had to craft something to make this, it would, or if it was working, it would tell us we're missing a material. Once we put them back in there, it usually picks it right up and it finished the recipe. So now we have another storage cell. I'm really bummed that I have to have all the components to make this now. So another good pattern to teach your system is the pattern itself, because you're going to go through a lot of them. That should be the first one that you teach to it. And I probably ran out of glowstone, because you're going to be making a bunch of patterns unless you feel like crafting everything manually. Who wants to do that? So we're going to need some glass and iron. not both at the same time. Alright, so now if we go back, we make a pattern, make the pattern, throw that thing in the molecular assembler chamber. Another cool trick you can do with this is you can hook a fuzzy export bus up, so once you make an encoded pattern, you can throw it in your ME system. It'll automatically put it in the molecular assembler chamber. We'll do that at some point, but it's just a neat little trick. So there's our molecular assembler chamber. I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to find some place to put it. We're going to have to make a bunch of steam dynamos, and I'll just figure out what we're going to need to autocraft. Go ahead and actually craft the pieces and make the patterns, since apparently we're going to have to do it the old way. And then I think what we'll do next episode, I need to run another quarry. So I'll probably go ahead and do that between now and then. And then I think what we'll have to do is start automating. I need a better way in there now. Start automating how we process ores. And we also need to automate this with AE. So everything is connected to the network in case we need planks for something. And this is actually, we're gaining planks at this point. This was at about 253,000 when I got home from work today. So I think we're going to be just fine running this thing on planks. So I think that'll do it for this episode. If you guys have any comments, questions, or even requests for a focus on a certain mod, please let me know. I want to start SolitaryCraft pretty soon, maybe in the next few episodes, which is why I want to run another quarry, because we need a ton of iron for that. I'm sure this will be enough, but I want to make sure that we have plenty. So thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'll see you guys next time.